Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Now, the great and the good, if that's what you can call them, of the SNP in London will be meeting today. The Westminster Group are having their little meeting in which they will be maybe formulating a plan with which they can oust the leader and install someone new. Now, of course, who will that be? Well, the chances are it's going to, of course, to be Kate Forbes. She's very popular with the rank and file members. She has her own power base in Holyrood. Outside of the party, she's seen as the best choice, as it were. People who wouldn't or never would vote SNP know, of course, that you've got an SNP government for the next 2.5 years, and they're thinking, well, if it's anyone, it's got to be Kate. She's probably the safest pair of hands. She's certainly sane, which makes a change for that lot. And she's probably the least offensive. Certainly she's seen as someone who will be more realistic, shall we say. And who knows, may even be able to do her job. That'd make a change with the SNP. But McMufti is definitely on his way out. He hasn't got long, and even he knows that she is going to take his job. And it isn't just us saying this. Others are saying it, and we're going to take a look at this article. It's a sort of an opinion piece, but it sums up, I think, what a lot of people are thinking. Here goes. So here we go. Kate Forbes will replace McJobby as the SNP leader. It's just a matter of time. The Jobby of Pollock. He's out. His days are numbered. Even he must know it now. When they're having meetings and there's calls and there's all sorts of things, he can go and he can take Matheson, his bum chum, with him. The pair of them can saunter off into the sunset and never be seen again with any luck. Columnist and commentator Alan Grant reckons can't be the Alan Grant from Jurassic Park, can it? Reckons the one-time leadership contender has played things perfectly since narrowly losing the battle for Bute House. Indeed, she may have lost the battle, but she's gonna win the war, and it was a good battle to lose. Imagine if she'd have won and it would have been her being in charge over the past year when all hell broke loose. She'd have been, terribly victimised by it. But she's let him take that, and now she's kind of come in, sweep in, mop up, with all the scandals out in the open, not hers, clean slate, job's a good one. Well played, Kate. Well played. Actually, looking at that, they're not actually touching each other, are they? It's like arms round, but let's not touch. Mutual loathing. Mind you, I wouldn't want to touch him either. Anyway, when the Grand Mufti bested Kate Forbes to lead the SNP, did anyone think it would be for her? That would be it for her. With the eccentric Ashregan off to join Alaba, Forbes becomes even more interesting. What next for the Sky MSP is one of Scottish politics' most interesting questions. The answer to this may already have begun to materialise. I said yesterday she's starting to build a base, and it was obvious, and it is obvious to anyone who's watching, that this woman is marshalling her forces, shall we say. She lost the first battle, but that, I think, was just a rout, and now she's going to go in for the kill, and she will win, because everyone's found it. Well, he's been found out, really. He's been weighed, he's been measured, and he's been found wanting in every single metric. Anyway, Sturgeon's heir beat her by a meagre and thin margin, and that was, of course, with the whole of the party machine working on his side. But it's also clear that a lot of the party like her style and her record. Although I wonder where the money's gone, Kate. That's a separate issue, but we'll touch that one if ever you become leader. Her recent clever decision to come out against the Bute House agreement is very good politics. This agreement sees the Nats rely on the Greens for power and is a source of resentment for many Nats, and those who are brave enough to say so at least, such as, of course, her best chum, Fergus Ewing. We've not seen the last of Kate Forbes and her leadership aspirations. That much is obvious. Forbes has positioned herself well in the months since the leadership bloodletting, and she's kept her head down and begun setting out her stall with subtlety. I would like to see her leader. I think she would make an excellent leader. And I'm not just saying that for the obvious reasons. And yes, I know I'm going to get comments. I know you lot are going to comment on this. But I do think she's sane. And that's something. And she's not extremist like the current cabal, surrounding the current leader. Anyway, now she's picked the right moment to put distance between herself and the leader over the agreement. It's the kind of clever politics we all knew she's capable of, despite the fact that Jobby makes it rather easy, both being out of luck and his depth. He hasn't got a clue, has he? It is difficult to imagine a worst first minister, having a harder time than him. Useless walked into Butte House amid a torrent of controversy, while his predecessor and her choice of holiday vehicle caused it. It is still his problem to solve. Well, especially as he keeps aligning himself with her. I'm the continuity cabinet. Vote for me and you'll get Sturgeon Light. God help him. The deposit return scheme, a banner policy of the SNP, got torpedoed by reality. His first programme from government speech, usually a rabble-rousing moment, sounded apologetic. It wasn't, of course, an apology because he never says sorry. He's never wrong. And, of course, he gave that speech and he had no idea what was in it. There was nothing. And so he had that bing light bulb moment and went, aye, and council tax freeze, and everyone was like, what the hell is the old wanker on about? Nobody mentioned this. What the hell? And now, of course, everything's falling apart. Even the on-the-plate issue of Palestine hasn't been able to upturn his fortunes. The mess that the Tories are making over immigration and welfare hasn't either. Many will be asking, how much help does he need? He is a First Minister on borrowed time, a fact he will be well aware of in private, if not in public. He knows he's done. Stick a fork in him, he's done. He's coming off, he's finished, he knows it, everybody knows it, everybody in the party knows it, and then Kate Forbes is sitting there, putting her running shoes on because she's sprinting for Butte House. She'll have it. Anyway, step up Kate Forbes, MSP. She's proved herself popular in the party. She has illustrated the centre-right and pro-business views live on the SNP. And now the main problem that stands in her way is the incumbent and he is collapsing. Moreover, her other competitor has gone Peter Finch in network. She is mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore. If any shot from any more movie can sum up Alba, the iconic shot from the network of Finch finally losing his marbles is it. And suffice to say that Ash Regan is no longer a concern to anyone. She's the only SNP Alba got until the next election, and then they'll have none again. She's finished, she's done, she's out. This is her swan song. What a way to go. Out with a whimper, not a bang. And that's a shame, because I think she's actually quite an attractive woman. Don't fancy her. She's just an attractive woman. Unlike Kate. Suffice to say that she's just done that bit that she's not concerned. Anyway, there is now a straight line, and I like this. There's now a straight line between Miss Forbes' office in Holyrood and the Butte House, and she can now continue to remain out of the direct limelight, but shaping up her agenda. She's going to run, and she's going to do it, and she's going to win. And the thing is, everybody knows it, and I mean everybody. And there will be those in that little coterie of power, and they will be shitting themselves. Because a lot of them know they'll be out. Certainly, Shona Robertson, gone. Angela Constance, probably gone. Matheson will be dust. Boom, like that. Gone. He may well actually just go out of politics. It's pretty bad for him. There's lots of them like that. There's so many of them. Boom, gone. Dorothy McBain, trouble again. Anyway, a focus on family issues, child rearing and maternity would work well. Going by her Twitter feed, she's already factored this in. She's comfortable in this arena. During a contest, Forbes suffered damage because of her views on same-sex marriage. But a lot of people felt the way she did. I don't have a view on it. I don't care. That's basically it. I don't have a view because I literally don't care. Trans issues were also a significant tripwire for her. I do have a view on them. People know it. I'm not shifting. She will have to shift a bit on these issues. She doesn't have to. Why should she? Why should she? But that's politically, if not in moral terms, easy. She can reposition to be the ordinary folks candidate. She could bag Middle Scotland. And that is a worry, of course, for the Tories. Not that many Tory voters would shift directly to the SNP, but there are some that would. But if the SNP under her are seen as more electable, and it means that the Labour would lose the votes to the SNP, which means that seats that the Tories could have won because Labour had pulled enough SNP away that it left the second place Tories a chance of nipping in. If that started to drift back, they might not get the seat. So it is a worry to some Tory seats. Anyway, at that moment of decision making, the SNP is faithful and will be clear. They've tried continuity Sturgeon candidate. It didn't work, as Kate Forbes has said. Ash Regan's commitment to the SNP turned out to be as loose as her grip on policy, and indeed reality. And Kate Forbes implied that that would happen. She can tell the party, correct all along. She was right then, is right now, and could make a very compelling case to being the right woman to lead the SNP. They did try a man after all, and it didn't work out, did it? The above is a matter of conjecture. It may not happen exactly like that. I think it will. I think she is going to line up, and she's going to make her push. And with what's going on in Westminster, it could be very, very quickly. She could be leader by Christmas if she pulls her finger out. And not just her finger. I'm coming up. So, a little speculative future. In the next couple of days, it all leaks out that the Westminster group have had a meeting, they have a plan, and they want you-know-who to FRO. So, let us say that he realises the jig is up. Kate Forbes then comes in and says, look, either go or I will force an election. Said, I think we've got the numbers. We can have this. We can do this. We can oust you. So either resign or we'll push you through. He would probably resign because he knows he would lose. He absolutely knows he would lose. Especially with the Westminster lot, and he knows the backbenchers. Very, very unlikely to support him because of his support, both of Michael Matheson, but also, especially, of the Greens. So what would he do? He would possibly resign, or, and this is the big thing, or he would say, I'll tough it out, but to show how tough I am, I'll break Butte House. That seems to be the sticking point for a lot of people. So he'd throw the Greens out of government. That would get a few more back on his side. Would it be enough? It's a very close call, I think. But I think either way, I think he's done. And I think he knows he's done. He's probably just going to saunter off into the sunset and thank God for that. He's like, that's if the guys down the mosque let him. Because ultimately, that's who he answers to, isn't it? Anyway, we'll stop there. It's enough speculation. Let's see how it goes. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, and I will talk to you later. Bye.